What's good, you guys? You know who it is, man. It's your boy, Mr. Relentless Lex, and I'm back like I never left this mother. Yes, sir. Hello, somebody. All right, so, man, we got Jaguar Wright surviving an attempted hit for naming Diddy's accomplices. Now, we all know Jaguar been hating Diddy and Jay for so long now. So, for somebody to attack her, bro, I don't see it like not happening. Bro, she tells everything she know about them two guys. And I know they hate it, bro. I know they hate it. Hey, even if it's just some fans of Jay or from Diddy, they probably still hate Jag, bro. Personally, I love Jag, bro, personally. But she got to be careful. She got to move her head on the swivel. You have to, Jag. When you're in the profession that you're in, keep your head on a swivel.
You f***ing dead! You put your mother hands on me, you dead! Dead! You fake ass gangsters! I'm blowing this shit up! Mother... You mother...
Jaguar got up out of there, though, did she?
He assaulted me. Yup, and they put me in a hospital on an APAP. When I was assaulted at that barbershop over there, they call Legends, over at Allure, he threatened to kill me, so I need to file a police report.
That Courtney Burgess was planted with this information on purpose to basically get the feds to turn their eye off of other people that are allegedly going to go down with Diddy. And the person that she called out was Jay-Z and the Carters. And then Courtney Burgess started acting really strange and multiple different times threw up these triangles while she was saying stuff like this.
Wow.
My witnesses.
So therefore, you know, the triangles is the Illuminati sign, and it also is the Rock Nation sign. So we don't know if he's probably showing love to both sides by throwing up the triangle and disrespecting Jag. But that's exactly what they mean.
I'm saying.
You guys, Jaguar Wright just survived an actual assassination attempt. Not just harassment, not just intimidation, a planned attack. And the timing couldn't be more suspicious. Because just days before this incident, Jaguar was naming Diddy's accomplices in his RICO empire. Jay-Z, Desiree Perez, Clive Davis, Courtney Burgess, Alex Spiro, and other specific people Jag claims helped cover up serious crimes for years.
I sent you a very real message, man. I said they're trying to unalive me again. Can you help? You never responded. You went just as ghost as Jussie Smollett did a week ago.
Wow, not Jesse.
To research you, Miss Kid. And so help me God, if I find you've had any legal dealings with Alex Spiro, you and I are going to have a
And as you guys probably know, Jaguar has been exposing industry corruption for a minute. But this is different. The moment she started connecting Diddy's case to actual networks of enablers, people started showing up where they weren't supposed to. Her hotel was broken into, her car was tampered with, and even her husband was paid to set her up.
Okay. Wow.
Hold on.
But it gets messier, because according to Jaguar, this isn't even about Diddy anymore. She's naming bigger fish and powerful people with deep ties to multiple artists, not just Diddy. And before we talk about who those names are, there's something you need to know. Jaguar didn't drop these claims quietly. She went live, looked straight into the camera, and said, if anything happens to me, you know who did it. So now the question is, did someone just try to make that happen? Was this just a scare tactic, or did Jaguar interrupt something a lot darker? And more importantly, who are these people still covering for Diddy today?
So I can have my lawyer serve the paperwork for my. Why am I waiting? I was in the hospital for 9 days. They put me in on an A-Pal. I have bruises. My thumb and my pinky was done from where they stood on my back with the handcuff.
So let's talk about what actually went down. Jaguar Wright just survived an orchestrated hit attempt, and she says it's all tied to the people who protected Diddy's criminal empire for years.
Oh, my dear son. Oh, my dear son. Oh, my son. Oh, my son. They're all dead.
No,
they're all dead.
According to Jaguar, she noticed a black SUV circling her hotel in Dallas more than once that day. Then hours later, when she was getting back to her hotel, she caught someone crouching near her car and messing with the tires.
So it was dark back then. I had my key out. And I had my knuckles in my back pocket, my brass knuckles. And sure enough, he came out the dark as I was about to put my key in the door and go upstairs.
According to Jaguar, this man was trying to rig her car and make it look like an accident. However, she caught it just in time, and she even confronted him, and then they got into a physical altercation.
I'm the f***ing boogeyman. I ran up on that, just started punching the out of him. Whooped his, took his knife. I was like, you say that shit? Get him on knife. I was losing it.
Jag said she beat the man up and took his knife. Bro, it must have was like a little kid or something, Jag. Not to underestimate nobody. But the man had a knife. You got some cojones, even though you're a woman, to take a grown man's knife from him and threaten him with it.
I swear to God, if I see you out on these streets, I'm gonna kill you.
Now, luckily, Jaguar knows how to defend herself, but she was still shaken after this incident because she knew they weren't just trying to scare her. They were trying to kill her.
The thing is I'm prepared for what I'm prepared for. You know what I mean? I've had everything bad that pretty much a human being can go through happen to me.
So after this incident, Jaguar went on live with Tokyo Tony, and she actually showed off different weapons she keeps on her at all times. This woman's walking around like she's in a war zone, and honestly, it tracks.
I gotta go spend some time with my godson before they try to kill me again. Oh my God, stop saying it. Don't put that in the universe. They've been trying to kill me.
And get this, when Tokyo asked Jag to name the people who've been trying to kill her, Jag didn't mince words. She said there are two Seans, Carter and Combs.
They tried to do it in Chicago. Okay, but who are they? You know who the f*** talking about. Oh my God, I'm talking about the Seans. I'm talking about Sean Carter.
It's crazy how Jaguar got a problem with both Seans. And their last name both begin with C's. You got an S and a C and an S and a C. And hell, that's where I'm from. A S and a C, South Carolina. You got to stay woke. Stay woke out here. Stay woke out here, y'all.
Jaguar then talked about how someone tried to blow up her car. And get this, she even name-dropped Beyonce, hinting that she was also involved in this attempted hit.
Somebody tried to blow up my car. I hope Beyonce falls and breaks her neck.
Now look, you all already know Jaguar's been calling out Diddy and Jay-Z for years. That part isn't news. She's been accusing him of everything from scamming artists to eliminating multiple people.
Clarence Avon, Jacqueline Avon, Kim Porter, Albie Shore, Heavy D, Andre Harrell, Father MC Baby Mom, Big L, Biggie Smalls, Christopher Wallace, Pimp C, Aaliyah. Sweetheart, there are so many names.
That's
And we all know the
people.
industry quickly labeled Jaguar as crazy and brushed her off when she first started warning people about Diddy.
The first time you heard me say that Sean Combs was a sex trafficker and you said I was a liar because I was jealous, because I wasn't his girlfriend,
Facts.
because I wasn't successful in the music industry.
Now, people did say all those things about Jag, bro. I was one of them. When I first started listening to Jag talk, I was like, maybe this lady doing that for publicity or some type of stunt to get herself out there. I didn't know her background was like it was, to be quite honest. I didn't know she was a backup singer for Jay-Z and all that. So she been around these people before, just like she said. So she have seen some things and heard some things with her own eyes and ears, bro. So Jag, she was owning something a long time ago, you guys.
Because I didn't have
ago.
a hit record, because I didn't live in a mansion, because I didn't have diamonds. You said all of these things about me
Yup.
because I told the truth.
You disgraced my name, my legacy, my family. You stalked, you hunted me. You harassed my friends.
But this is different, because lately she hasn't just been coming for the faces of the machine. She's been digging deeper and pulling receipts on an entire infrastructure, a whole system of men and women who kept Diddy and Jay-Z's empires untouchable for decades. So before the attempted hit, Jaguar exposed powerful businessmen who founded the freakoff pipeline, which Jaguar claims was a cover for something even darker. According to Jaguar, Diddy's parties weren't just for his sick enjoyment, but other men were there bidding for the victims.
They auditioned to be models for music videos.
Oh, casting couch.
When they got to Miami, they had to show and turn over their ID, and they collected their passports. And then the next thing you know, they were in a storage container getting by a bunch of weird strangers on camera who were bidding for all of the terrible things that were happening to them live online.
But Jaguar also went after the middlemen, like industry fixers with ties to the feds, high-profile lawyers who cleaned up scenes and wrote NDAs, and fake witnesses who coached victims on what to say. Jaguar was connecting dots no one else was willing to touch and pointing at the people working behind the scenes. And out of all the people she's exposed, 3 names kept coming up in Jaguar's videos before that attempted hit. Ron Burkel, a billionaire investor with ties to private equity, politics, and the Epstein list, Desiree Perez, Roc Nation CEO with a criminal background, and Courtney Burgess, an industry fixer that Jaguar claims was planted by Roc Nation to distract everyone from Jay's ties to Diddy's case. And what's wild is that no one's naming these people but Jaguar. So let's break them down, one by one, starting with the billionaire whose name was found in both Epstein's and Diddy's Black Book, Ron Burkel. So according to this investigative report by Unlimited Hangout titled One Label Under Blackmail, The Early Intersections of Diddy and the Epstein Network, Ron Burkel is the godfather of all of Diddy's children. But he was also a frequent flyer on Jeffrey Epstein's infamous private jet. Now, most people know about Diddy's...
He's the godfather to all Diddy's kids? Somebody that Diddy never knew that was there when he was growing up with him? Just a man with power. That's crazy.
Connection to Clive Davis and how Clive helped Diddy build Bad Boy Entertainment. But barely anyone brings up Ron Burkel. And according to Jaguar, Wright, that's by design. See, Burkel wasn't just some random investor. He's one of Diddy's oldest and most loyal financial backers. Back in 2003, Burkel invested $100 million into Diddy's Sean John clothing line. And back then, the media was literally referring to Burkel as Diddy's sugar daddy. But here's the real question. Why would Ron Burkel throw $100 million into Diddy's clothing company that wasn't even turning real profit at the time? Well, according to Jaguar, it's because Burkel wasn't investing in clothes. He was investing in Diddy's blackmail operation. And Jaguar claims Diddy was doing the same things as Epstein, providing victims to his clients and collecting leverage on behalf of people way more powerful than him.
I know how they ended up on Epstein Island. They auditioned to be models for music videos.
Oh, casting couch.
When they got to Miami, they had to show and turn over their ID, and they collected their passports. And then the next thing you know, they were in a storage container getting by a bunch of weird strangers on camera who were bidding for all of the terrible things that were happening to them live online. After they made it through that, that's when they were sent to Rick Ross's music videos as groupies and extras to make sure that they could walk around in society without looking like victims.
Now, when it comes to Ron Burkel, there's been a ton of controversy attached to his name over the years. For instance, back in 2020, his son Andrew Burkel was found dead in his Beverly Hills home, and the family refused to say what happened. And get this, Andrew was close to Diddy's sons. In fact, Quincy Brown shared a tribute to Andrew on IG and revealed he was meant to have lunch with him the following day. But no one was talking about all this before Jaguar brought it up. And that's when Ron Burkel's team went on a digital cleanup spree, scrubbing any trace of his ties to Diddy and Epstein from the internet, removing articles, and deleting social mentions. Now, as for Ron's current whereabouts, he keeps a low profile, but public records still show he's active as co-founder of Ukaipa, sits on boards like Yahoo and Occidental, and co-owns the Pittsburgh Penguins. But all mentions of him in Epstein's Black Book or Diddy's freakoff operations is getting deleted. Only Jaguar and a couple of other independent journalists talked about this. And just weeks later, someone tried to blow up Jag's car. But there's another name that should be a scandal every time it's mentioned, but somehow never is. Desiree Perez, Jay-Z's right hand at Roc Nation and gatekeeper of the industry. And what literally never gets talked about in mainstream media is that Desiree was a federal informant, and Jay-Z knew that when he made her the president of Roc Nation. And according to Jay-Z's former friend, DeHaven, Desiree is the main reason why Jay-Z never gets into any trouble with the law.
And I can guarantee you the conversation with Emery, even when Emery came home and seen, you know what I'm saying? Then it just don't.
But hold on, wait a minute now. Even if that's the case, right? Desiree is okay, she's an FBI informant, an old FBI informant. So would that be like a strategic move from Jay? Because think about it. All the greatest drug dealers or kingpins or whoever always had an inside person. You do kind of want to have some cop friends, bro, who can know certain things. So is that a strategic move from Jay, or is Jay cooperate with him? It may seem like he cooperate with him, but it may be beneficial to the people that's on the other side who think he's a snitch when he's probably strategic with it. That's crazy. You got to think about it both ways. Think about it both ways now. Would you rather have somebody on the inside to know when the people coming, or would you rather be blind and let them run up on you? Huh.
Don't add up at some point. Saying. And then how's everybody going to jail but you?
And then when DeHaven was asked if Jay-Z would be the next to go down after Diddy, he said this will never happen because Jay and the people who brought Diddy down are all part of the same group.
Jaguar kind of alluded to Jay-Z may be next. What is your thoughts when you hear the world, like, they done took down Puff, they done took down all these other powerful black people. Jay-Z's like the lone standing powerful black man.
If you do the track wrestling on them, Jay is them people. If you do the history of most of the people that got in trouble in the industry, big trouble, who they went to for help? When Lil Wayne was in trouble, who'd he go to? When Meek Mills was in trouble, who'd he go to? Meek Mills said it himself. Desiree helped me. You understand? So how could he be up next? You know what I'm saying? He is them people. They go to him when they got problems. I think he is them. He has a relationship with them. You talking about a woman that had a relationship with the feds for 20-something years, right? When you working for them, you got an agent, your agent that's in charge of you. You think she don't have no relationships with over the years with all these agents that became retired and connected and this and that and the third till they just know shit? She got power. That's power over there. You know what I'm saying? Who you wanting one on your side? You got them on your side?
But here's where Jaguar went even deeper than DeHaven. She didn't just mention Desiree. She actually tracked down the daughter Desiree abandoned and interviewed her live.
So I was born in New York as a little baby, 9 months. My grandfather had to take over to raise me because my mother was incarcerated and dealing with the criminal justice system for the crimes that she committed in the early 90s.
How long has the relationship with your mom been strained at this point?
I haven't seen my mom since December 25th, 2023. That's the last time that I saw her physically. The last time I spoke to her was December 30th, 2023. When she said that I was dead to her.
And this live stream happened just days before someone tried to silence Jaguar permanently. Think about it. She put one of the most powerful women in hip-hop on blast through her own bloodline. And then days later, someone tries to end Jaguar's life? You don't need a conspiracy board to see the connection. So ask yourself, if Jaguar is crazy, why does she keep naming the right people? And here's another person she exposed. Courtney Burgess, the industry fixer that Jaguar claims was paid by Roc Nation to be a fake witness in Diddy's case. Courtney claims he had a copy of Kim Porter's real memoir. However, Jaguar exposed him for having personal ties to Diddy. Get this, Courtney is the godson of Frank Lucas, the Harlem kingpin that Diddy's late father, Melvin Combs, worked for. And Courtney himself admitted this in an interview with TMZ after Jaguar exposed it. However, he still claimed he didn't know Diddy personally.
Yeah? How do you know Sean Combs?
Generation, Frank Lucas was my godfather and his father, and then we both was in the music business for 30 years together.
So you personally know him,
Not who personally?
Sean Combs.
Not
Diddy.
personally.
But you know of him, he knows
I know
of you.
Yeah, I used to be in Tupac, Hussein Fatal. He stopped a lot of my music. A lot of other people who didn't care about him. You understand? That's not around today.
Now here's where it gets weird. Courtney agreed to appear on a live stream with Jaguar after she called him out for lying, but then something really strange happened. Several times during this interview, Courtney flashed Jay-Z's Rock Nation hand symbol. Watch closely.
Need to slow down. Stop running your mouth so much.
I don't need to do anything but what I'm doing. And now we've finally gotten to this point where you're warning me. Who are you warning me for, sir? You got a boss. Tell him I still got nuts right here. Your warnings.
Wow.
All your warnings, let it go.
Jag do not back down, bro.
Go back and tell your boss that I
completely referring to someone else.
Oh my God, bro.
Do what you do. Jag. Do what you do.
Oh, I will. To the fullest.
Do what you do.
To the fullest. This changes nothing. Go back and tell your boss.
If Courtney's got a puppeteer and all that,
Jag said, help your boss.
In the world, he got the first hand anything. It was passed down, compiled by someone else. And like he's saying, he doesn't ever.
I'm not being funny, and I will just be honest. I did notice that myself. Of all the ways you could have positioned your hands, Courtney, that was the only way that you could have positioned them in a way that would have caused anything. And I'm going to be honest with you. I noticed that too.
And as this fan on TikTok pointed out, what was also suspicious is the way Courtney Burgess was doing the most to defend Jay-Z and Beyonce and claiming there's no way the Carters are in any way involved in Diddy's wrongdoings.
And Jaguar Wright held nothing back, and she was calling out Courtney Burgess on doing this. She said, "You are nobody," and she even believed that Courtney Burgess was planted with this information on purpose to basically get the feds to turn their eye off of other people that are allegedly going to go down with Diddy. And the person that she called out was Jay-Z and the Carters. And then Courtney Burgess started acting really strange and multiple different times threw up these triangles while she was saying stuff like this. He did it about 5 different times throughout this live, to the point where somebody actually noticed, why does Courtney keep throwing up this triangle? And everyone thought this was super weird that Courtney Burgess kept throwing up this triangle sign at Jaguar Wright after she kept saying that you were planted with this information and it probably came from Jay-Z. We all know that Jay-Z has been known over the years to throw up the same triangle hand symbols. Jaguar Wright believes that Jay-Z is the one behind this because Courtney Burgess said that Jay-Z would never be involved in any of this, and he never saw him on any videotapes, and he would never do anything with Beyonce with another person.
So let's tie all these loose ends. Jaguar names Ron Burkel, Desiree Perez, and Courtney Burgess. And just weeks later, she's nearly killed. This isn't just about Diddy anymore. This is about a machine, bankrolled by billionaires, protected by fake witnesses, and cleaned up by industry fixers who don't show up in headlines. So next time someone gets found unresponsive in a hotel room, you might want to check who they were talking about. Because if Jaguar was right about any of this, we haven't even scratched the surface yet.
Wow.
Dead.
Jaguar Wright. The only thing I can say is a lot of times you do be right, just like your last name, even though it's spelled different. You be right, but not with the W. But like I said earlier, Jag, man, you might need to get some security, or if you already got security, you might need to tighten up your security. Now, this is the thing. They're not going to stop coming for you. We all know that, Jag. And we also know that you're not going to stop giving us the information. So to be smart and to move swiftly and carefully, beef up your security. I know you say you got brass knuckles and different little items that you walk around with on a daily. I understand that. But you need to beef up your security. For real, for real.